Hey everyone, this is a multiplayer series on how to start coding. Throughout these videos, you'll be able to learn how to code from scratch. I'm going to try to go pretty fast with these coding projects because I know that if I were learning how to code, I would want to sit through like a 5-hour long video on how to start coding. But by watching all these videos, you'll be able to make anything that you want using p5.js, which is like the visual library that we're using a few parts that I wish I learned using this when I started coding. If I'm also going too fast, then maybe these videos aren't really for you. Then also, if you're in computer science already and you don't really think that you need all these videos, I'll also have another video linked that will go over everything that you need to start making something visual to convert your coding knowledge to actually making something cool. Alright, so let's start with what really coding is. Coding is making a little recipe book for your computer. So you have 1, 2, 3. You want to get the eggs. You want to break the eggs. You must give your computer a really good instruction set, and that means that you have to meticulously type out everything that you want the computer to do. Also, since coders are kind of lazy, we have a lot of shorthands to things that you want. For example, you want to repeat 2 and 3 3 times. That's a function that you can do in coding. And there's also specific ways to write your code that we'll be going over. But after you learn some of the basic stuff, it's pretty freehand, honestly. So we'll start with brackets. There are 2 types of brackets. There's the code bracket that we'll really be using mostly. That's why I'm going to highlight it here. And then we're going to also have our class brackets. Don't really worry about the class brackets for now. We'll learn about them later. Just know they exist. Just brackets. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to go really fast. Okay, so now for the code brackets. In the code brackets, you'll put your instructions. So you'll have your instructions 1, 2, 3. Of course, that's not really how you write it. All right, this is how to write those. All right, so in one of these, you'll have a function calling. A function calling is telling the computer, hey, I want you to do this thing, right? So for a function, you'll have the name of the function, and I'll give you some examples of names of functions that you want. And you also have your parameters. And the parameters are things that you input into the function to have some control over what the function does and have more freedom over a function, right? You don't want to make a function for breaking eggs and breaking a case of cookies. You can just have a name of breaking and a parameter of eggs, right? Sorry, here, and you'll have parameters. So make sure you have these parentheses. Okay. So then you'll be able to code. One important one that you'll learn is point. Point, you have your name here, name, and you have your parameters here. And the parameters are x, comma, y. Make sure you have a comma in between your separate parameters. Okay, your point parameter, your x and your y-axis starts on the top left corner, which is your 0, 0. And your x, if I run point 50 and 40, then you'll move 50 here and 40 down here, right, to get your 40. It's kind of like your x and y-axis that you learn in school, but this part's a little flipped, right? Your y-axis. Okay, and so if you write this in code, you'll have your brackets, and then you'll have point, 50, 40, and then your end brackets. Make sure it's in between the points. All right, so let's move on to your actual editor. Okay, so I'm opening a new tab in my browser, and I'm just gonna look up p5.js on Google. I'm gonna click on the p5.js. I'm gonna scroll down, bottom left corner, you start coding. Now here, you may be overwhelmed, but really just look at these sketch.js, and to run it, you click this arrow, right? So this is your code. Don't really worry about all this. These are function initializing. So basically you make your own functions, but don't really worry about that for now. Just know that these two brackets are your code brackets. So this is another function that you'll learn which background is its name and 220 is its color. And now you can put down your point function here and 50, 40. And now if you run this function, then you'll see that the background is with the color 220 with its gray value. Don't worry about that for now. And your point is on 50 and then 40. You can see kind of like how this is a little longer. If I make this number like 100, then you'll see, oh wow, that's really weird. Then you'll see that it's a lot further to the right because the X point is longer. That concludes the first part of our series. I hope you come along with the next one, and I'll teach you about variables.